So how do you manage difficult employees who are resistant to change and they are negatively impacting team morale? Stay tuned, and we're both going to transform through change together. So welcome back. So how do you manage difficult and challenging employees who are negatively impacting team morale? Well, today I'm going to share with you 5 things that I have learned by working with different teams who've had some difficult and challenging people on the team, and it had a negative impact on the team morale. So here are 5 things that I've learned to work through, and organizations, they have gotten great benefit from it. So number 1, you have to address the behavior directly and do it immediately. Don't wait and assume that things are going to get better because you recognize it and say, oh, it'll just get better. You know what happens? It never gets better. It only gets worse. So you have to address it directly and make sure you do it as soon as you see that behavior having a negative impact on team morale. Number 2, use some coaching techniques to communicate the need for change and the benefits that it can bring. Coaching techniques such as, pulling someone to the side and allowing them to see, hey, you're doing a great job in these areas right here, but here's some areas that we really need to see if we can make some improvements. Because guess what? You have to get people to buy in, and more importantly, help people to see that they do have some great things to bring to the table. Sometimes they may not be aware they can be difficult in some areas, and those areas can have a negative impact on team morale. Number 3, provide support and resources for people to overcome the obstacles of the change. Change is scary to a lot of people. And sometimes people just have these knee-jerk experiences to where, you know what, I'm scared and I'm afraid, and if I'm working with you, I want you to feel the same way. So sometimes people, they just need support and they need the resources to help them to work through the changes that they're having to go through. Number 4, always involve HR and any other stakeholders. You know why? Your organization has policies and procedures. And everything that you have in that book in terms of what you're saying, how you're going to work through changes and work through things with your employees, you have a process. So work through that process with your HR team and other stakeholders. You may have some other managers, you may have some other team members who can show that support as well. And number 5, don't be afraid for disciplinary actions. Now, that can be probation, that can be suspension, and unfortunately, it can also mean termination. But guess what? I would hope that the behavior does not continue if you follow these 5 strategies. So what are they again? Number 1, address the behavior directly and immediately. Don't put it off. Don't think it's going to get better because it's not going to get better. Number 2, use some coaching techniques to communicate the need for the change and the benefits that it can provide. Number 3, provide support and resources because people need that. Number 4, involve HR. And if there's some other stakeholders involved, make sure that they're included in that process. And last but not least, disciplinary action. So take these 5 strategies today and identify these challenging employees that you have and apply them so it will not have negative impact on team morale. This has been Dr. Samuel Jones. I hope this is helpful, and we look forward to seeing you on future videos.